Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Power Book 3, Kanan, Season 1, Episode 2, and it was titled Reaping and Sowing. Alright, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button along with the share button. All right, y'all, let's jump. I can't even talk. Let's go ahead and jump to this episode. So it opens up with Kanan and Rox. They sitting at the table, whatever like that. And this is first day back at school since he killed Buck 20. So Rox is basically telling him, like, watch your back. Like, Ish can still pop off because, the streets are still hot. Just because I call off the dogs don't mean like they gonna stop coming for you, because he had family and they might want retribution or whatever. And Kanan basically not really taking it all that seriously. He just eating his food like, yeah, I hear you, ma, I hear you. She was like, yeah, you listening, but you really not hearing what I'm saying. Like, you got to watch your back and stuff. And he was just like, all right, ma. So she was like, all right. He was like, all right, I got to go, ma, I got to go. So then he goes out. Child, he ends up kicking a shell casing when he walked out the door. Roxanne, I'm just calling Rox, because it's Rochelle, Roxanne, is it Rochelle? But anyway, I'm gonna call her Rox. So she at the door, she sees him. He bending over, picking up the shell casing, eyeing the shell casing and stuff. Mind you, it's a car slowly creeping up. She sees it and yells out, Kanan. He looking like, what? And then the car ride by. It was only like the yellow pages, white pages, man. He was just throwing the books out there, whatever. But, Kanan ain't know that. He wasn't even watching his back or nothing like that. So Rox was basically like, look, I'm driving you to school or whatever. So he was like, Ma, why you riding me to school? She was like, are you serious? Why am I riding you to school? He was like, Ma, well, we was out there on the beach popping off them guns and stuff like that. I thought you was going let me run some stuff or whatever. She was like, look, you in. Since you pulled that trigger, you was in. But I'm trying to protect you or whatever like that. Ain't no going back. And she was like, look, I'm scared for your life, basically. And she said something like the fear will keep us alive or something like that. And so she was like, well, you need to either be scared of them or scared of me. But you just need to be scared either way. So, but Kanan, he ain't scared of nobody, child. Kanan and his crew, they walking into school, child. It's a fight going on. Bow, 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 bow. This one girl, you couldn't see who the girls was at first. So she like, bow, bow. She uppercutting and shit. I said, well, damn. So then we find out it's Davina and this other chick. Of course, according to the other chick, she was screwing Buck 20, but Davina was his main chick, and she was talking ish on him or whatever. Davina ain't like that, so she was going ham on him or whatever. The cops come break him up and stuff like that. And so they was all like, Davina got hard or whatever. Jukebox was like, they fighting over a dead nigga now. How more stupid can you get or whatever? So then we see Marvin. I think they was at the diner. So they eating, Marvin eating, I should say, because the other two really wasn't eating. Marvin eating, and he telling Rox like, you gave up them corners, and please say you gave up them corners. Kanan got a mark on his head, and then we still don't got nothing or whatever like that. It's like you did all that for nothing. Like I told you, don't mess with him like that or whatever. So Rox is like, look, did you not see my house? It was shot the hell up or whatever like that. And I would do the same thing all over again. Lulu or Uncle Lou, he agrees or whatever. So then Rox is like, yo, I need you to pick up Kanan and take him to the trap house or whatever and keep him there, like pick him up every day after school and keep him there, whatever like that. And then they start talking about setting up another spot. Marvin was saying something about an exotic fish store or whatever. And they was like, well, what so-and-so know about a fish store? Didn't he have a barbershop for like a quick 4 minutes, and then somebody came up there with, he said something. It wasn't lice or nothing like that. And Marvin was like, well, it was lice, and it wasn't his fault. Somebody came up there with a infected weave or whatever like that, and then the things just went all over the he sounds cracking up. So then Uncle Lou, he got a different idea about some bodega or something like that. Marvin, they talking business. Marvin just focused on throwing this party. They was like, you throwing a party? We in the middle of a war and you throwing a party. Oh, okay. You ain't really got your priorities straight or whatever. And so they end up leaving. We see Davina, she in the office crying. Kanan, he walked past, and of course he gonna check on his boo. So he went to go and check on him or whatever. She was like, well, I'm just waiting on my mom to pick me up and stuff. And he was like, well, how you been? I ain't seen you around and stuff. And she was like, well, I had to take a little time off from school. I had to watch my little sister. And he was like, yeah, I had to take some time off too. I think I had strep or something like that or whatever. And so then he apologizes for Buck. So then she was saying, Buck had his moments and stuff like that, but I know y'all had like y'all issues and stuff, but he was a really good guy or whatever. And then her mama coming storming, you got me coming down here. I can't be taking off and doing all this stuff. You got me coming down here because you want to get in fights and stuff. The mama going off. The principal come out, Patrice. Come on here and talk to me. I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I ain't got no man helping me at all. Or nothing like that. The principal like, I heard this shit before. Come on in here, Patrice. Davina, you come on in here too. And Kanan, you go to class or whatever. So she goes there. We see Unique and Rox, they meeting in the cemetery. So Unique was like, yo, Rox, I had to circle this place about 30 times because I thought it was a setup. You telling me not to bring no security or nothing like that. I thought you was, was setting me up or whatever. She was like, no, but, the streets is still hot for my son. He was like, look, I told my boys to back off or whatever like that. But folks is angry. They need to see another body or whatever like that. So, a body for a body, basically. Then it ain't gonna be Kanan's body for that, for Buck's body or nothing like that. We see Kanan and their friends talking about, they in school. I think it was like lunchtime or something like that. They talking about Buck and stuff, and he feeling like all eyes on him, like everybody know that he shot him or whatever like that. D was like, yo, Kanan ain't worried about nothing. Because Kanan know I'm the one who put that nigga down or whatever. So Kanan was like, man, if you want to take that, go on take that rep or whatever like that. We see Davina, she getting escorted out by the cops and stuff like that. Kanan, he looked like, he was looking all sad or whatnot. We see Omar Epps. What's his name? I just know he a crooked ass cop. That's all I know. So crooked cop, he come in there. And he talking to his partner or whatever. And his partner, I think she like a rookie or whatever. She fresh on the scene for detectives and stuff like that, and homicide or whatever. Because she all like, well, the captain wanted us to put close to this Buck 20 murder or whatever like that. So maybe we should go talk to the mama. And he was like, well, the mama don't know nothing. We don't need to talk to the mama. And the captain don't really care if we close this case or not. He just don't want to see no more teenage bodies on the street or whatever. So she was like, but I think we should talk to the mama. He was like, we not. We going to the cleaners or whatever. We see Marvin. He coming into the club. So Marvin talking to Symphony, and he telling Symphony like, yo, I heard you the dude who with my sister and stuff, and you better not do nothing wrong to my sister. You better watch her back, and if you don't, I'ma fuck you up. And Symphony was like, I bet you won't. And so Marvin started laughing. He was like, yo, little nigga, you got heart. That was some real dark skinned nigga type shit, man. You got heart. I was just playing with you, man. I was just joking with you. I was just joking. It's like, he's so stupid. And so he go ask where the chick at. So he goes to the back. He starts talking to the lady because he want to he want to have a party there back there. So I think the lady named Tony back there snoring her life away, child. I don't even know how she still had a whole nostril, because the much coke that she put up that damn nostril, that shit should have been bleeding back, okay? But she's snorting, and he like, look, I want to have this party at your club. It's going to be a few people. She was against it. And he was like, no, man, it's going to be the shit. Like, it's going to be busting. Like, let me come in here at this party or whatever. She was like, all right, whatever. At first she looked all sad. He was like, what's wrong with you? She was like, I'm in mourning, Like, he was like, oh yeah, I heard about the dog, the microwave, some shit like that, I'm sorry about that. She was like, have you ever had a pet? He was like, no, I ain't got no pet. I ain't wiping nobody's ass but my own. So she was like, well, you wouldn't understand. So then, after a while, she was just like, all right, you can have a party here. He was like, all right, baby, all right. So then we see Crooked Cop. So Crooked Cop tells the white chick to stay in the car, his partner. He go into the cleaners, and then the cleaner had gave like some code word or whatever like that. He go open up the back door. It's all these dudes. So it's Unique security, basically. Unique, he getting his new jacket fitted to him and stuff like that. They got Unique on the back, child. I remember them jackets. But he get his new jacket and stuff like that. Crooked Cop, like, because the dudes was like looking him up and down. He was like, yo, you must not know who I am, and you better read about me. You better Google me and back the beep up on my face. So Unique was like, yo, let him in, let him in. So he come in or whatever, and Crooked Cop was like, was $120 one of yours or whatever? He was like, if by one of mine, if you mean like a friend, then yeah, he was a friend to my dude $120. It was sad that he poured some liquor out on the floor. I said, this boy is a fool. So then he was like, look, no more bodies on these streets, especially kids or whatever. So he was like, yo, can we go outside and talk? So Crooked Cop and Nikki, they go outside and talk or whatever like that. And Crooked Cop basically don't like Rocks. So he want Rocks to get off the streets or whatever. Because he was like, look, I don't want no more bodies on the street, especially teenage bodies. And Unique was like, well, you need to talk to Rocks about that. He was like, look, I was ashamed when Rocks had took over for High Post. Was it High Post? Let me make sure. I think it was High Post. Took it over for High Post or whatever like that. She should have never been in that position to be able to take over. And the world or the corner only, or no, he said the castle only got enough room for one king, one crew, one whatever. So like Rock's got to go. He was like, and I'm betting on you being in that top spot. Like if you make sure ain't no more bodies hitting them streets, then I make sure you can run the kingdom or whatever like that. So he was like, all right, man, all right. So then we see the kids, they walking or whatever like that. Jukeboxes, they was like, well, where you be at? You don't ever be around or nothing like that. You got secrets and stuff. So she goes snapping off. Ain't nobody got no secrets. Maybe I'm just doing my own thing. You think I can't just do my own thing, whatever. They was like, ooh. So Kanan had to like cover for her or whatever and was like, yo, you know, she hit us to the studio and yada, yada, yada. So they was like, all right, man, all right. So then she go on and leave. So then, Marvin pulls up and scoops up Kanan. And they was like, Kanan got a job or whatever. They was like, yo, you got a part-time job or whatever? He was like, yeah. So he goes off. We see Fame and D-Wiz. Lou and Rocks run into them at this bodega or whatever. So Lou ends up giving them some money or whatever. And he was like, yo, you know, just put in a good word with your sister. You know, tell your sister I was thinking about it or whatever. He was like, well, you know, I don't really see my sister, this Fame. I don't really see my sister all that much because, you know, she in school. She focused on her studies and stuff like that. And yada, yada, yada. He was like, man, don't y'all live in the same house? He was like, yeah. He was like, all right, so when y'all go get the cereal together, tell her that I said, what's up? He was like, well, you know, she don't really eat cereal. It's cracking up. He's like, man, look, just... Rox was like, chill. So she was like, D-Wiz, you know, how you doing and stuff? He was like, you know, I'm doing fine. She was like, well, how your mama doing? He was like, you know, she doing fine. You know, she worried about my brother. He just got out and stuff like that. And she worried, you know, she can't find him. Maybe she want him locked up because at least she know where he at or whatever. She was like, oh, okay, well, keep your head up. So then they go into the bodega. The lady, the wife, she got a black eye. The husband, he like, yo, who are y'all and why y'all talking to my wife or whatever? So they was like, we just talking business and stuff. So the husband was like, well, she don't talk business. I talk business. So come back here with me or whatever. So while they was walking, Roxanne gave the girl like a glance, I got you or whatever like that. So then we see Marvin, he pull up to the trap house and stuff. Kanan like, well, where's we at? He was like, yo, this your new place of appointment. You know, like, take care of it. You're going to be employee of the month. Same shit. In the back, Rox is talking to the guy, the husband or whatever. And she like, well, we going to do these upgrades, you know, put some security cameras in here. And then you going to hold some of our stuff in the back or whatever like that. The dude go turn to Lou and was like, you know, I'm taking risks and yada, yada, yada. Lou was like, I don't know why you talking to me like she run this. He was like, oh, what? So then he was like, no, I don't know or whatever. So she was like, look, you take it or you leave it, nigga. Like, what you want to do? He was like, all right, I'm going to take it or whatever. So, of course, he all happy and giddy and stuff like that. He finna make some bank. We see Marvin, he's talking to Kanan and telling him, like, look, you want to come to this house every day after school. This is what you're going to do. This is like your headquarters or whatever. He was like, my headquarters? He was like, yeah, like, you the dragon. guarding the gold, okay? Just think of it like that. You the dragon guarding the gold or whatever like that. And he was like, Scrap gonna school you, Scrap gonna school you, whatever. And Kanan looking like, what the fuck? Scrap just laugh at him and stuff. So then we see Juke, and she and this other dude, they selling t-shirts, jackets, probably some stolen merchandise or whatever. And I think it was like polo and some other stuff or whatever. So they selling it, making money. The dude, the one guy was like, yo, he was like, I just shirt 30. He was like, I give you 20. No, man, no. He was like, all right, man, I take the 20. I said, boy, at least you could have said 28, 25. You can't go all the way down. So Juke was joning on him a little bit, and then this other guy came up. She sold this jacket for $250, and she was like, all right, look, I made my money. I'm out. So then she leaves. We see Kanan, he working out and stuff, and Rox was asking him, like, how was after school? He was like, it was boring. I ain't do nothing. And basically, it's a stash house. All he doing there all day, every day is sitting there with this other dude, and they play video games, pretty much. But he was like, you said, when I'm going to be on the corner? Like, you said I was going to be on the corner. I was going to get this high position or whatever. She was like, they'll come in due time or whatever. Then she was like, yo, so I talked to D-Wiz, and he said his brother, got out of jail or whatever like that. He was like, yeah, She was like, well, did you get the gun from him or whatever? Because I'm just sure, like, your crew is strapped or whatever. You better hang with a good crew or something like that. You as good as your crew and stuff. He was like, yeah, I'm good. My crew good. So she was trying to get information out of him. Kanan's so damn dumb. He don't even realize that she trying to get information like, well, where he get the gun from, who shot what, like how he get in this position or whatever like that. So then we see Rox, she talking to Marvin and Lou or whatever, and she was telling them, like, Kanan gonna stay in the stash house until further notice or whatever. And then she was like, you got your party tonight, don't you, Marvin? And he was like, yeah, I got my party. So she turned to Lou and was like, okay, you need to get your Reggie Jackson on. So Marvin was like, well, what the hell Reggie Jackson gotta do with my party or whatever? He looking all confused. Lou looked mad about it. She was like, well, look, I don't want to do this either or whatever like that. So then Kanan, he at the trap house. He looking around, being nosy and shit. And then he find this locked door. So he trying to go in the locked door. Old dude Scrap was like, yo, what you doing? He was like, well, what's behind this door? He was like, don't worry about that. He was like, well, Rox put me here, so I need to know the ins and the outs. He was like, Rox, as in your mother put you here, and she put you here to keep you safe. Like, you don't even understand. You don't even get it. I'm your babysitter. Like, you ain't here to learn nothing, fool. And he started laughing and went away. So then, excuse me. I need some water, but I ain't even got nothing near me. Juke is with the white girl. So the white girl named Nicole. So they in the store, they shopping and stuff like that. And she was like, well, I know you like polo and stuff, but you can't wear polo to the ball. She was like, you still think I'm going to go to this little white ball with you? She was like, yeah, I think you is. So then they was looking at these shirts and stuff, and the shirt was like $65. Juke was like, no, I ain't buying that or whatever. So she was like, well, I can buy it for you or whatever. She was like, what you mean you can buy it for me? Like, I need you to buy me stuff. I got my own money, girl. So then she stormed out. So the girl, Nicole, was like, look, I don't know nothing. I don't even know what I was thinking and stuff. I'm just from the upper side and stuff. And, to show our affection and stuff, we buy people stuff to show people that we like each other and stuff. So she was like, oh, okay. Like, you like me or whatever? And she was like, yeah. She was like, but I was going to buy you that ugly shirt anyway or some shit like that. She was like, but you said that you liked it. She was like, well, I like anything that you like. And so Juke was like, well, I like you. And so they end up kissing on the street. I said, okay, girl. So then, let me see, child, where I'm at. So then Kanan comes in the house, storming up in the house, all big mad because he done found out he was being babysitted and shit, child. So he was like, yo, you put me on ice. Like, you had me at the stash house for no reason or whatever like that. She was like, yeah, I sure did. And what? Like, and before you start getting on your high horse about it, whatever, let me just tell you something real quick. I started the same way you did. Your daddy had me sitting up in the stash house, and it was boring as hell. And he put me there for two reasons. One, because I was pregnant with your big head ass. And the other one, because he wanted to see if I could follow directions. And, he was like, well, yeah, he's smart as hell. That was your father or whatever. And then so she go into this whole thing, like, and he was trying to see if I could be a good follower, because a good follower turns out to be a good leader and stuff. And she was like, so I'm just trying to figure out if you can be a good leader and stuff. So he was like, So then he was like, well, why you all dressed up? Where you going? She was like, well, I'm going out. and you staying in. You can invite a friend over. I got this bootleg New Jack City VCS VHS y'all can watch. So maybe you could call your friend D Wiz over here and invite him over, to watch the movie and stuff. I said, Lord, if this ain't a setup, this ain't a setup. I ain't think, that was what happened was gonna go down, but I saw the setup coming. So at any rate, he was like, all right. So then we see Lou driving down the street. D Wiz walking down the street because he about to head to Kanan's house. So he walking down the street. Lou was like, yo, I'm about to go to this party. Kanan, he was like, well, I can't go because I'm about to go to Kanan's and watch this movie. He was like, Kanan ain't tell you he's going to be there or whatever. He was like, what? He going to be there? He was like, yes, man, this going to be the best night of your life or whatever. So he was like, all right. Juke get off the bus and she sees D Wiz get in Lou's vehicle. Of course she don't say nothing, but she sees it go down and stuff. So then she looking like, what's going on with that? So then Marvin, he helping Tony and stuff because she had somebody call out and yada yada yada. He helping her get set up. We see Davina, she walking down the street near Kanan's house. Kanan, of course, peeps her. He comes outside and he was like, you out here? This your little sister? She was like, yeah. I'm walking her like she only ends up closing her eyes when we outside the house. Like she don't trust our mama neither at a young age. I said, damn, what the mama be into? So then she was like, well, what you doing? He was like, well, I'm waiting for D Wiz to come over. He should have been over here. We supposed to be watching this movie or whatever. So she ends up saying, because he was holding the newspaper in his hand, she was like, yeah, they had a section of Buck in there where they put dead people at, and they only gave him 4 sentences. That's all they gave him or whatever like that. I wonder what they gonna say about me when I go or whatever. So she was like, all right, well, I got to go. So he was like, well, I see you at school. She was like, well, it's gonna be a week. They gave me a week suspension for fighting old chick or whatever. He was like, oh, okay. So then we see Marvin. So Marvin got this long line. It's a long line of people anyway to get into the club. But then Marvin got half the line for his party. She was like, yo, I thought you said it was only going to be a small group of people. He was like, well, this is my small group of people. I just know a lot of people type thing. So he goes back there and lets them know like, yo, y'all gonna get into the party or whatever. Because Tony was like, well, my VIP people got to get in here first and then your people can trickle in. So then some dude step out and was like, yo, I heard you need some protection. And they was like, well, what gang you from or whatever. They said who they was from. And so then they was like, well, can we get in? He was like, no, nigga, you got to wait in the line like everybody else. So then everybody started laughing at him. We see Uncle Lou and D Wiz, they in the club. So they did go to the party. So Uncle Lou talking to this chick, but she probably a prostitute or a hooker or whatever like that. Wiz like, oh yeah, she nice or whatever like that. Where Kanan at? Where he at? And he was like, I don't know, he should be on the way or whatever. So then he was like, yo, he peels off some money, gives it to the girl, and was like, yo, you need to go handle this. She gonna take real good care of you or whatever. He was like, what? She gonna take care of me? So then, she started leading him to the back. So I was like, okay, what is going on here? So then we see Rox, she's talking to Symphony and whatever. They on a date and stuff. She at his place, they talking and he giving her the down or the high rise and stuff. He talking about urban planning and yada, yada, yada. She getting all turned on about it and stuff. We see D Wiz, he back there about chicky wow wowing with the prostitute and stuff like that, getting his first nut because it looked like it was his first, and unfortunately But anyway, we see outside the club Tony walking the line. So this one dude was like, when you gonna let me come in? So she was like, in a minute, you can come in a minute or whatever like that. He was like, no, I'm talking about you. When you gonna let me come in? So Marvin was like, So she was like, get off of me or whatever. So, because the dude had touched her. So Marvin sees all this. So Marvin started popping up. Bow. He started hitting the dude and bow, bow, bow. So I said, Lord have mercy. So then we see Uncle Lou taking D Wiz out the club. So he was like, oh, Marvin over there fighting. I gotta go over there. He was like, no, Marvin can handle himself. He got this or whatever like that. Don't you worry about that. He was like, all right. At the house, or jukebox house, I should say, she's singing, child. So she's singing. We see Rox saying she bowed chicky wow wow on Symphony. She having the best ride of her life, child. I said, yeehaw. They still fighting outside on the streets. Marvin ends up getting locked up. Tony, like, oh my God, I never had a man fight for me like that. He was like, ain't nobody gonna mess with my chick. She was like, oh my God, I just wanna bust it, but you're getting arrested. But anyway, we see Jukebox. She's still singing her little heart out, child. Rock still riding. D-Wiz is in this alleyway with Uncle Lou. So D-Wiz taking a piss or whatever, because he been drinking, child. He been, screwing and all this other stuff. So he's taking this long ass piss. Uncle Lou on the side of him. D-Wiz like, I don't know where Kanan was, man, but Kanan missed out on the best time of his life, man. He missed on the best time of his life. We see Kanan calling D-Wiz mama, like, where D-Wiz at? Did he leave or something like that? I guess she said, like, he already left out the house or whatever. Child, D-Wiz asking Uncle Lou, do he got the number for the chick? Because, she was fire. She had that snapper and stuff. And then next thing we see, because Uncle Lou looked like concerned. Like, he looked like he looked sad in the face or whatever. Next thing we see, child, he pulled out his gun, bow, shot D-Wiz right in the face, child. I said, oh my God. So he had his first and last nut, child. I said, that poor baby. And so then we see Uncle Lou, he called Rox and was like, home run. And then she in the bed with Symphony and was like, that was just my son. He was saying good night. And then we see Kanan laying on his bed looking up at the stars, like the little stars on the ceiling and stuff like that. And he was giving this little speech to, as he was going out or whatever like that. I was like, oh my God. And that was the end of the episode, child. I said, oh, they starting early, like episode 2 and shit. God damn. That was the end of the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode down there in them comments. I hope I covered everything because I was trying to remember what had happened. Because like I said, a lot had happened in a short period of time. But again, y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode down in the comments. If you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button along with the share button. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit me with that hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace.